nostalgia. Using nostalgia as a spiritual practice to help you awaken, or if you had an awakening already, to help you remember or return, especially in the early phases of awakening. We get lost and back in separation. So I saw this article just a couple days ago about a film, and the director was talking about, this film is based on nostalgia. We have nostalgia for it. It's a baseball film, took place in the 1960s. The Sandlot, that's what it was. So I was reading the article, and I'm trying to maneuver. There's like people walking and a bike going by, and I just want to he mentioned that the word nostalgia means homesickness or yearning to return home, right? And I guess I didn't know that. So I thought, wow, the desire to return home, that would be a great spiritual practice. And that's what awakening really is we're returning home. We're returning back to our source, right? So I just thought that this could be a cool spiritual practice. So there'd be two parts to it. First part is to think about returning home in your life. Nostalgia for your past, especially if you're older. Now, this is not for everybody. Some people might not be attracted to this spiritual practice, and that's okay. This is to those of you out there who this resonates with, okay? So the first part would be using the world of form in your past to think about, meditate on nostalgia, things. And then the second part is then using that feeling and that energy to then return back to your true self, okay? To your eternal self, okay? So the first part is, and also The Wizard of Oz, I thought about. It's all about, there's no place like home, there's no place like home. And I just thought remember that, a big plug, because I did a spiritual lessons of the Wizard of Oz movie, so check that out. There's no place like home, there's no place like home. So I'm actually walking in a neighborhood, as you can see, there's homes. So you could think about your past, and if you have nostalgia for it, right? Your old home where you grew up, right? And nostalgia also has it's a return to simpler times, to an innocence, right? Even like I grew up in a pretty, dysfunctional household, abusive household, but there were some very nice times, and yet I still had nostalgia for it, okay? I still had nostalgia because there were times where there was an innocence that I had, and there was a wonder as a little boy for, playing kick the can and the music of the time. So I, grew up in the 70s. So I have nostalgia for the 70s, and like Star Wars. I saw the original Star Wars in the theater. So there's nostalgia for that, right? So meditate on that. So that's number one. The spiritual practice is meditate on nostalgia, to return to innocence, to a simpler time. Even, I mean, a lot of times that is a, you know, the simpler times, a lot of times is just a thought, you know, we think it is, but each time period has its own dysfunction and conflicts and everything. However, when you're a young person, you don't realize that, right? For the most part. So yeah, so it's like go back to that time where you feeling safe, I guess, too. Even in a, again, I mean, like I said, there are many times I didn't feel safe, and yet it was home, it was safe, you know, at times. So yeah, so marinate in that nostalgia and that returning to the home, right, of the past, and all the, you know, all the cartoons, you know, everything like Scooby-Doo and the banana splits. I don't know if you remember the banana splits, but things that you grew up with, there's nostalgia, right? So think about those happier, joyful, innocent times, right? So that's the first part of the meditation, right? Maybe take out old photos, right? Some of you might cry, right? Some of you might cry. That's okay. Just be with whatever feelings come up with nostalgia. Homesickness. There's the desire to return home, right? All right, so that's part one. So do that, you know, do that for a week, too. I don't know, you know, whatever feels comfortable for you. Return to it. I'll go over here. Somebody's cutting the lawn down there. And so part two would be then hold that feeling and surrender to the home, to the source, to your true home, your eternal home, to your eternal self, right? Which is nirvana, source, God, whatever you want to call it. It's the now, the isness. You know, you can't put a name on it. It's just truth. Emptiness, right? And surrender to it. And realize that this now moment is your true home. So, you know, I'm going by all these houses over here, right? So house. Kind of a nice neighborhood, right? House. So in the world of form, we think, oh yeah, that's my home. You know, if I live there, or that's my home, or this is my home. And when you surrender deeply and accept this moment, no self, your ego, lay the ego down, let go, like they say, and you realize that this now moment is your home, right? This now moment is, I'm going to symbolically put the house, but this now moment is your home and is always your home and is eternally your home outside of time. No past, no future. This is it. The isness of the now is your true home. And then you live from there, and you're totally safe. No matter what happens, no matter the craziness of the now moment, no matter the craziness of your home, right? This is it. This is your home. So, nostalgia. So, I don't know. I just thought that might be helpful to some people out there. This is something totally new. I think I might have done it unconsciously before, because I did do return to my true self meditations and return to my home, or that, but not like this, not like thinking of nostalgia. So yeah, so this is it. This is home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Click those ruby slippers. Everybody has ruby slippers. There's no place like home. There's no place like your truth. And in fact, the only place is truth. And it's actually a non-place, because it's not geographical in this world of form. It's everything, right? And nothing. It's the paradox. So that's it. So hopefully that has been helpful, and love you. And until we meet again in the nostalgic moment of the now, in the world of form, of all the homes in your past, and also in the transcendent true home of your eternal self.